Ooh, that was loud. Yeah, people, how y'all doing? All right. We looking good? We everywhere we need to be? Yes, we are. Helen Ford in the house. Paula. Tamiko. Welcome to the show. You can tell I was a DJ in a past life, can't you? All right, guys. Tonight's show is brought to you by justinform.com, a social media site that doesn't steal your data nor track you around the internet. Go to justinform.com and become a part of a community that shares information. All voices are welcome at justinform.com. Tell them that Tim Black sent you. Ha! All right. Yeah. Dun, dun, ba-doom, 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 bum, bum. Oh, to my dancers on the left, to my dancers on the right. Drop the lights. Welcome, everybody, to the Tim Black at Night Show. Thank you for joining me. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch. Tim Black's Wolfpack in the house all the way around. How y'all doing? I mean, we're getting close to those holidays. Guys ready for it? Yeah, kind of. You know, I'm past the point of, like, holidays, man. You know? But unfortunately, I have kids. They've got different plans. Don't ruin it for the kids, Tim. All right, tonight we're going to cover some stories. There's a lot happening right now. We have, first we want to cover, Donald Trump is talking about pulling troops out of not only just Syria, but also Afghanistan. Wow. I thought people would think this is a good thing. All that right here on TBTV. Government shutdown, government shutdown. Yuletide spirit with a government shutdown. A stopgap measure has just been put in place. Here I am with the details right here on TBTV. The fundraising website known as patreon.com is suffering some backlash because it deplatformed some conservatives. Let's talk about that controversial issue right here on TBTV. Mad Dog Mattis, Secretary of Defense Mad Dog Mattis, just resigned abruptly. We're going to talk about Mad Dog Mattis running away from the yard right here on TBTV. And we also, two controversial figures in the black movement. I don't know what you call this. Yvette Carnell and Dr. Boyce Walker's going at each other's necks again. I'm here to talk about it right here on TBTV. All right, guys, let's get into this while we're still young. At least as young as we're ever going to be. That matters, right? That matters. Well, hold on, guys. Gotta do this. Gotta reconfigure a couple things here. We good? Man, I like that, man. Makes me feel cutting edge when I do it like that, guys. I feel so cutting edge when it's like ding, 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 ding. It's cool, right? Make me feel all cutting edge like I'm, you know, one of the vanguards out there on the bleeding edge of technology, giving you more than you expect, you know? Trendsetter. All right, guys, so let's jump right into some news, why don't we? Let's get to this. Get to it, Tim Black. Got all day, buddy. Where you been? Syria and Donald Trump. Syria and Donald Trump. Trump shocks allies and advisors with plans to pull U.S. troops out of Syria. Donald Trump's reported to have ordered a full rapid withdrawal of over 2,000 U.S. troops in Syria, declaring victory over the Islamic State, ISIS, and taking allies and his own advisors by surprise. Pentagon and State Department officials were left scrambling to interpret an abrupt change in course from the U.S. policy decided over the summer to keep forces in Syria to ensure the enduring defeat of ISIS and act as a bulwark against Iranian influence. Senior officials were informed of the president's decision on Tuesday night, and after news reports of the abrupt U-turn surfaced on Wednesday morning, Trump tweeted this: "We have defeated ISIS in Syria. My only reason for being here during the Trump presidency." Trump's claim is at odds with his own administration's assessments. In August this year, the Pentagon assessed there were still as many as 14,500 ISIS fighters in Syria. That's intelligence that is presumably sat on Trump's desk while he proclaims victory this morning, said Charles Lister, director of countering terrorism and extremism at the Middle Eastern Institute, who pointed out that ISIS had claimed responsibility for an attack at its former stronghold of Raqqa only minutes before Trump's tweet. Both the UK and France have troops in Syria, and the UK's junior defense minister, Tobias Ellwood, rejected Trump's claims that ISIS had been defeated in Syria. Later on Wednesday morning, the White House spokesperson, Sarah Sanders, put out a more nuanced statement, saying that the troop withdrawal marked the start of the next phase in the struggle with ISIS. Ooh, and you know what, guys? We could keep going and keep going on that tack, but I think it's only fair to pull up there. Donald Trump's talking about bringing troops home. Not only is he talking about it, he is the president, so he can make the move to bring the troops home. How many people remember that we didn't go into Syria legally? Like, we didn't declare war, an act of war by Congress. We just kind of just did what we wanted to do. We just did it. Like, we just did it. How many of you guys remember a time when the Democratic Party was supposed to be the peace party? See, I actually like this. I not only like the fact that Trump's talking about pulling troops out of Syria and Afghanistan, which I'll get to in a moment, but I like the fact that it exposes that we got one party, man. I've been telling you we got one party. You keep telling me we got two parties. Oh, you keep saying it because it sounds good. It sounds good to say we got two parties. Or you can go to the party over here, or you can go to the party over there. Oh, we got a party down the street, too. Oh, man, we got so many parties. Parties everywhere. Pick your flavor of party. But in reality, folks, we don't have that many parties. We have underfunded independent parties. I'm not talking about the Green Party, People's Independent Party. No. Libertarians. That's an ideology. I'm talking to you about the Democrats and Republicans, and they are both the party of going to war. Donald Trump, for whatever reason, I don't much care what his reasoning is. See, what they're trying to say is, oh, well, Trump doing what Putin wanted him to do. That's why he's decided to pull troops out. It sort of reminds me a little bit of the criminal justice reform package that just passed, where they take a long, long dump on anything Trump. Regardless if it helps people or not, regardless if it gives something, or if it's on the right side of an issue. I mean, this is pretty much the boilerplate practice of corporate media. See, the problem is we have too many Americans that sit at home and don't watch independent media. So they're under the delusion that if they have a shit politician in their district representing them who are complaining that Donald Trump wants to bring troops out of harm's way. I said troops out of harm's way, that that's somehow a bad thing. This is bad. He wants peace. You convince yourself that that's Democratic or Republican or conservative. How about it be conservative to spare life? What about that part of conservative? Oh, so it's not, so let me get this right. Baby in womb, preserve life. Baby out of womb, go to hell. Pull your pants up, baby. Fend for yourself, baby. Baby join armed services for country, baby die. Because we ain't going to bring you home. Are we really that delusional not to know how much money is at stake in war? That war has become largely an act, not largely, hell, us going to war don't got nothing to do with peace. Us going to war has nothing to do with peace. Oh, there's 14,000 ISIS fighters. Every time you kill an ISIS fighter, you make more ISIS fighters. You're not going to kill, you're not going to stop ISIS. You're not going to stop people from, it's a thought. ISIS is not just people, it's a thought. And that thought will perpetuate itself the more you drone innocent people, whether they're in Syria or Afghanistan. That's just not rocket science. But back to Donald Trump and these so-called, I don't know, progressives. Look, you don't fool me, right? I know what it is. Your ass like that paycheck. You didn't really like playing, like your career path, right? You know what you want to do in life. What you do not want to do is be on the wrong side of budgeting. See, you're more concerned about your pocketbook than you are concerned about your life book, your legacy. Or maybe you just feel that your little small voice won't add up to anything. That what's the point of fighting the fight? Well, it's all about fighting the fight, and if you have that, if you have resigned yourself to no longer put up a fight against this oppressive government that goes around the globe and dominates, well, you decided that that's not in your best interest, that's not in your game plan, that's not your strategy for life, why don't you just stop, just go work at the post office? You know, like go find another life. Another thing to do. You don't have to be a political commentator. You don't have to be a writer or a journalist or whatever you call yourself this week. You don't have to be none of it. Because we need people to speak up and stand up. Right now, Donald Trump, whether you want to have dinner with him, whether you want to play dominoes, whether you want to play, I don't know, Fortnite against him. I don't know what you want. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Whether you want to have a beer, eat Chi-Chi's, talk around the grill. I don't care about any of that. You don't have to like Donald Trump at all. But the man is talking about peace and bringing home troops. And I don't much care if he's doing it to secure an election. These people that think that Donald Trump invented this idea that doing shit to secure elections, why do you think all of a sudden Obama warmed up to gay marriage? Why did he do that? Oh, kindness of his heart, huh? He suddenly, it washed over him that people who they love is their own damn business. Like suddenly that became an idea that struck him. He looked into his daughter's eyes and he said, if they happen to be gay, we'd like them to still be able to have a life. So, yeah. He had a change of heart. He stubbed his toe and some lights ricocheted off of a lantern and a butterfly flew by and he knew then. He had an epiphany. No, he was trying to get elected. He's trying to get elected. He was trying to get elected just like Trump's doing. But the memory of the Democratic Party is so short in the memory of the journalists that cover this, because I know the journalists know. I know you know this is just business as usual. But see, I don't much care why Trump is choosing peace. I don't give a fuck. Just like the gays didn't care when Obama chose to give them marriage capabilities. They didn't care that he was doing it for his own reasons. Everything in Washington is done for someone's own reasons. Whether they name a post office, name a bridge, is done for someone's own reasons. Everything's done for a reason. Donald Trump, guys, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, I have been critical of this president, but it was due to policies. I remain critical of policies. Bad policy. Good policy, no longer critical. Bad policy, critical. Good policy, not critical. Dare it, dare, praise. Dare it, support it. Because that's what your job is supposed to be. Your job is not supposed to be, hey, I'm checking in for the ball. I'm checking in, boss. I'm on the team. I got on the team shirt. Oh, we're going to win this thing. No, your job is to report it. Give your own flavor, like, do your own thing. Give your own commentary. But be open and honest that you are on someone's team. And stop pretending that you are playing it straight. Now, I know damn well that the Fox News people ain't going to play it straight. I'm not doing when I call it straight, I'm not doing it with any thought in my head of what anyone else is going to do. I don't watch anyone else's shows to determine how I feel about a situation, nor do I gauge myself based on what I think someone else is going to do. The truth is the truth, and right is right. The 2000, and another thing, a side note, a friend of mine, one of the supporters of the show sent me a link. They told me to watch this movie on Amazon. The movie on Amazon is about U.S. veterans who became ill because they inhaled toxic gases while overseas in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, where they had these burn pits. And they burned metals and tires and medical waste and human waste, and they just put all this stuff, and every day they just burn it, and the fumes went into the air, and these soldiers are infected by it. Some of them have died, and many of them are close to death or nearing death. And you know that our government, our U.S. government, has denied a number of them benefits because they didn't die quick enough, or they didn't get sick quick enough within the window of time to say, hey, that had to happen because you were in Afghanistan where we were doing this thing we shouldn't have been doing. Or you were in Syria where we were burning this stuff and this is what happened. Or you were in Iraq and we were burning this stuff and this is what happened. So don't speak to me at all about how we support veterans, or that we need to keep making more veterans, because we do not take care of veterans at all. So yes, we should bring all veterans home, because not only are they being killed by IEDs, not only are they being killed by enemy combatants, whatever you call them, or ISIS, but they're also being killed by us. By us. And we're too even fucking cowards to even own up to it and make them whole. So give it to that. All right, so also, not only is it Syria, Afghanistan, U.S. troops, a day after a contested decision to pull American military forces out of Syria, officials said Thursday that President Trump has ordered the start of a reduction of American forces in Afghanistan. More than 7,000 American troops will begin to return home from Afghanistan in the coming weeks. A U.S. official said the move will come as the first stage of a phased drawdown and the start of a conclusion to the 17-year war. The start of a conclusion of a 17-year war. There are now more than 14,000 troops in Afghanistan. Before we get to Mad Dog Mattis, guys, let me just also add this. The argument that, this is what Putin wants us to do, so we shouldn't do it, is freaking fucking stupid. Okay? That's stupid. Tell me why we shouldn't do it because we shouldn't do it. Don't tell me because Putin wants us to do it, or your mama wants us to do it, or the guy Alex Trebek, they had a quiz and Jeopardy thing, and it was trying to solve the puzzle, and Alex said, don't do it. Don't tell me Mr. Magoo on the Flintstones don't want us to do it, or you contacted your dead relative doing a Ouija board session. They said, don't. No, I don't care. See, just because somebody has the same opinion or the same thought process doesn't mean that you align with them. So just because Putin wants us to leave Syria and Afghanistan, and we want to leave Syria and Afghanistan, and Trump wants to leave Syria and Afghanistan, doesn't mean we all are in bed together. Now, that could be the case. But it could also not be the case. And that's not a real case to make. Like someone said, Tim, it was 45 degrees today in Washington, D.C. And you know what? I said, yeah, you know, it is 45 degrees today in Washington, D.C. Us agreeing on the weather does not mean that we're friends. Doesn't mean I agree with him on anything else. The extra mayonnaise he puts on his sandwiches, his lack of salt in the potato salad, his aversion to Frank's hot sauce. None of that. I don't agree with none of that other stuff. We just happen to agree that today was 45 degrees in Washington, D.C. Now, if you can wrap your head around the nuance of that, maybe these hacks on MSNBC and CNN can stop saying, well, that's what Putin wants us to do. Well, you know, the grizzly bear, right? The grizzly bear used to be in the forest, Smokey Joe, whatever his name was, right? He wanted us to stop making forest fires. We should stop making forest fires, not just because Smokey the bear wants us to stop making forest fires, but because it's nice not to have forest fires. See, you are illogical. And instead of grown-up Americans making a decision and thinking for themselves, being functionally literate and reading and deciding for themselves what makes sense to them, they let Aaron Burnett and fucking Jake Tapper, and Tap Jacker, and Don Lemonhead, and these hacks make their decisions for them. And Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh. Oh, God. Son of a little fat fuck. We got to do a better job. So Mad Dog Mattis is pissed because he wants war. His whole fucking life is war. There's a saying, when all you got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. That's Mad Dog Mattis in a nutshell. He don't want to draw down troops. It ain't over till everybody's dead but him. Notice his old ass ain't trying to go fight. That's another thing. You patriot. Get your ass in the fight. Nah, not on the Twitter. Not on Twitter, biatch. Get your ass on the next thing smoking over to Afghanistan and get in the fight, you old fuck. Get your ass on the next thing smoking and get to Syria. Front lines, mofo. Front lines. And you become back a multiple, a triplegic or quadriplegic or whatever. You come back that way. You know, this is a little off the rails, but I'm going to say it. No, it's weird for me to go off the rails, but damn it, I'm trying to bring you all together in one place. And I look at my numbers and they're shit. Oh, come on, it's okay, it's shit. It's horrible, right? It's horrible. 100 people maybe, you know? I watch other people talk about nonsense. 2,000 people watching that shit. So, you know, it's painful, but here's the thing. I'm trying to bring us all together. And here goes one tenet that I want us to consider. America don't care about black people, but they don't care about white people either. They let vets die slow, agonizing deaths with no payment. They don't care. Stop thinking that you're alone in this fight. We have to wake up. This should show it. They want war. We're no safer right now than we were 15 years ago. Are they saying the Syrian rebels or whatever are going to send people here? If we don't be there, they're going to come here? No! We're still going to have the same terror threat that we had because that's not the game. That's not what's happening. Mad Dog Mattis, he resigned. He had choice words for Donald Trump. Mattis' departure will take effect February 28th. According to Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, he was or has proven to be an incredible partner to DHS on a variety of matters, including cybersecurity and counterterrorism. We've signed a monumental memorandum agreement between our two departments to work on cybersecurity together. He certainly has been very supportive of our border security mission, said Nielsen. Mattis' resignation came a day after Donald Trump announced plans to pull all 2,000 American troops out of Syria. A move the top Republicans said would endanger Syrian Kurds allied with the U.S. and enable the Islamic State to regain a foothold in the country. And on Thursday, a senior U.S. official told Fox News that Trump is seriously considering a significant drawdown in Afghanistan. In his resignation letter, Mattis told Trump he has the right to have a Secretary of Defense whose views are better aligned with his own. Okay. You know, at some point we gotta make a choice that drone strikes, and hell, does this even include drone strikes? Do they count drone strikes as pulling troops out? Because that's not actual troops, that's actual warfare. Warheads, right? All right, folks. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I got it all figured out, but I can tell you this. If I have a choice between peace, bringing soldiers home, I have a choice between withdrawing troops or keeping them there, I'm always going to choose bring them home. That was part of Trump's mandate. That was part of Trump's platform, wasn't it? Now, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, but that's what he said he was going to do. And less war is less war, regardless of who gives us less war. So I'm for it. All right. This is where we have to go now, guys. We're going to talk about Patreon. We're going to talk about the stopgap with the $5 billion funding for the border wall. But first, this is where I got to remind you that this is independent media. Independent media has to pass the hat. The hat, the collection plate, the donation box, the kitty. We got to pass it around. If not, we go bye-bye. So, become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. You see that wolf behind me? There he is. Become a member of that. Join it. I have a number of great people who are just viewers of the show. We're not run by the DNC or the GOP, and frankly, they wouldn't have me because I am unhinged. I don't give a damn, and that's not what they want. They want someone they can control. They want someone they can fire. They want someone that's under their thumb. Just press them with their thumb. Just put their thumb on them. And that's not going to be me, man. If that was going to be me, I'd have stayed in IT, where I was 4 years ago. So become a member of this show today. Do that on Patreon. If you can't stand Patreon, join me on PayPal or join me on YouTube. I got like 3, 4, 5 options. PayPal is Tim at TimBlackTV.com. Patreon is Tim's Take Live, and YouTube is Tim Black TV, or you can find it at Tim's Take Live as well. All right. Woo! What we got? Do what you got to do, Mattis. So, as you heard me mention, I said that you can become a Patreon member or a member of Tim Black's Wolfpack by joining me on Patreon. Well, Patreon is in the news. It's in the news and it's receiving some backlash because, well, Patreon, they They pushed some conservatives off their platform, and I don't know if they're fully conservative. Like, I know some of the people that were pushed off and some of the people that left, but I don't really know. Like, I haven't spent a lot of time watching their content in order to say yes or no or maybe so or whatever, that these people are a certain way or they hold certain beliefs, okay? So let's just put that. Let me see if I can get this on the screen somewhere. We might make this a separate video, guys. People find... people like this guy. So people might be interested in what my opinion is about Mr. Sicard. Am I far enough? I'm like over here. All right, we'll do this. Okay. So let me try to bring people up to speed about this, because this is relevant, because this is about free speech and this is about censorship and all those things. So we've had those conversations, right? Okay. This guy here, this thing here, whatever this is, this guy here, Sargon of Akkad. I don't know what the hell that stands for. It stands for something. It's an actual person, though. And he has shown his likeness. So he's not just this. He's a person. He's spoken at colleges and he's made videos. And I've seen him go on shows where he shows his likeness. So I respect that. I respect the person who will jump out in front of the camera and share their thoughts. But his thoughts are often controversial. Just like my thoughts are often controversial. But his thoughts are controversial because he says words and calls out certain groups of people. That's my understanding. Well, I wonder if they're going to hear a quote, because I heard Joe Rogan talking about this. And I would read you what he said. It was pretty tough. How can I say this? Sargon of Akkad made a comment while he was on someone else's show that Patreon didn't like. He used the N-word a couple of times, and then he used the word gay a couple of times and saying someone was gay or something. And, you know, they call it homophobic when you call somebody the F word, right? So he used the N-word a couple of times and used the F word. And they didn't like that much, and they decided, well, we don't want this guy on our platform. Now, after that happened, people responded by saying, hey, well, if that's the case, we don't want to be on your platform. And one of those people was Sam Harris. Apart from banning Carl Benjamin, which is Sargon Assad, Milo Yiannopoulos, a British public speaker and a YouTuber with over whatever subscribers. Doesn't really matter how many subscribers he has, because he's banned. Earlier this month, over his association with the Proud Boys, which Patreon is classified as a hate group. Now, Sam Harris is closing his account. And this is all about them not liking what content people put out, or if they're part of content, or if they're making videos. And we could get into, because Sargon wasn't on his own channel when he made the comments. We can get into all that stuff. Like, you know, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about, like, what's the difference between me saying something radical on my channel or saying something radical on someone else's channel. Like, it's still on the, you know, still out in the world. And these companies are doing whatever they want to do, okay? So here's my thoughts, man. Here's the thing. Sargon Akkad, I understand he's a creative, and he wants to, you know, he uses Patreon to raise money to be able to do what he does. Just like I do. I'm positive that Sargon will find another way to fund his platform, to fund his work. Because his work, where he puts his work, he was not kicked off YouTube. So he's still able to put his content out to his audience. He's just going to have to find an alternative way, in order to get funding for his work. And I'm sure at the end of the day, this is what I really believe, guys. At the end of the day, Sargon's going to be okay. I believe his people are going to show up and show out and support him. In fact, I think he may even get bigger. I mean, I've never done a Sargon of Akkad video, and I've done over 3,000 videos. So I'm talking about him. I'm sure a lot more people are talking about him. And this is what happens when they ban people. It makes them bigger and stronger. So Sargon's going to be okay. 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 So Sargon's Now, I'm not saying it's going to be okay because I think he's right. Because I really don't know if he's right. I'm just telling you, this is what happens when you go after people on censorship grounds. You make them bigger. That's what happens. Okay? Now, the bigger issue is, should Patreon have done this shit? No, they shouldn't have. They should have stayed out of it. Now, if Patreon was receiving so much backlash because people were pulling money from Patreon, or I don't know if Patreon subscribes or whatever they do, if they got advertisers or whatever. They're not even that type of platform. Like, I don't know why PayPal or Patreon are even getting into this type of shit. Like, unless you're losing funding or revenue because of an association with these entities, someone like Sargon, I don't understand what's the issue. Why are you there? Why are you jumping in? We don't need you to save us. You will not stop Sargon or Milo or anyone from talking because you took them off their platform. They will continue to talk. What you have done is made them bigger and better than ever. That's what I believe it happens. So, without even getting into, because I don't even have the notes, I know what he said, I know what the words were, but like people are like, all the context, and I got a bunch of white guys sitting around talking about it's okay for white guys to use the word nigga, like all this stuff, and I noticed those white guys don't bring lots of black guys, and it's just a whole bunch of crap, all right? You know, Rogan and the whole crew and these people, and now everybody's talking about all these white guys, frankly, are talking about Sargon using the N-word, and no one's like, hey, black guy, what do you think? They don't really care. They make everything a free speech issue as if it's a level playing field. As if it's level. It's not level. As if everyone has the same context, everyone has the same track record, the same history, everything's the same, and so everybody's got to be treated the same. No. But that's a whole nother conversation, right? It's a whole nother conversation that we can have. But it's not going to go tidy like into a nice little box for you, okay? It's not going to go nice in a box for you. I'm not just going to say, free speech, yes. I'm going to say, Sargon, I don't know why he felt like why he thinks he has the right to use certain terms that were used to degrade groups of people. I don't know who the fuck he thinks he is, but I know a lot of you guys like him and think it's cool. A lot don't. But on the principle of this issue, I say that Patreon's wrong. That doesn't mean I like Sargon. That doesn't mean at all that I agree with him. And so we have to start being able to hold two things in our heads at one time. And if I can do it, when a guy uses one of the most venomous terms, takes it upon himself to think that that's okay, I can do what I want. I got a whole bunch of white subscribers who think it's cool. They have no problems with it. Well, if I can deal with that and still come out the other side and say, you know what? You shouldn't be deplatformed for. You shouldn't take his money away. If anything, let the society take his money. Let his subscribers. I mean, if you got a bunch of subscribers who think it's okay and they see a way to make it all right, well, that's on them. And it's sad, but that's how markets work. That's how this should work. His people should decide. Just like when I wake up and I have less people who support what I do because they didn't like my opinion of Sargon, which will happen. There'll be someone who disagrees, like they always do, about something I said about Trump. And they'll say, screw you, Tim Black. Well, that same thing happens to Sargon. And that's the way it should happen. Because I have, this is how it should go. All right. That's how I feel about Sargon. I don't want to stay on it too long. We'll talk about it again another time. We'll see what happens. But I think he's going to be okay. And I believe you guys, you'll probably give him more money. I think he'll come out making more. Sort of like Sam Cedar. When he got censored, he blew up. Right? That's what happens. That's what happens. Like, you censor someone, they get bigger. Maybe that's been my problem Because when I got censored, I didn't get bigger. I wonder what that was. But certain people, if they get censored, they get bigger. I think Sagan Akkad, he's going to get censored, he's going to get bigger. All right, get up for that. Bye. Now, you okay? Button still in place? Okay, we good. All right, hey man, I was off yesterday, so I come back with a little bit more energy. The House passes a stopgap bill, could divert a government shutdown. We'll see about that. The House passed a stopgap funding measure Thursday night in a 217 to 185 vote which includes a $5.7 billion for President Trump's wall of the Mexican border and additional security, raising the odds that a shutdown will begin Friday at midnight. Passage of the measure over united Democratic opposition passed the hot potato to the Senate, which is set to consider the bill on Friday. The bill is not expected to pass the Senate, where Democrats have rejected money for Trump's wall. Only 8 Republicans voted against the bill, which was approved by the House a day after the Senate approved a similar measure that also funds the government through February 8th. That does not include the money for the Trump's wall. That bill was approved by voice vote. So, this border wall money bill, I'm about to say something about this. Now, check this out, guys. There's something that needs to be said, I think. I don't think we can any longer that we can sit back here and sort of like avoid. Do I have a Trump wall deal? I don't think I do. Let's get a Trump. Here we go. So there's a GoFundMe for Trump's wall, right? There's a GoFundMe for Trump's wall. Let's see. Let's get the Trump wall. My bad. Trump border wall GoFundMe. And I noticed this thing yesterday, right? Here we go. Let me just put it on the screen for people to see it. Here we go. Wow, it's changed. I'm kind of glad I came back here. This page, this GoFundMe page was opened yesterday for a Fund wall, right? That is the date. Oh, the 16th. I'm sorry, the 16th. Today is the 20th, so it's 4 days. As you can see, they've raised over $10 million for the border wall. $10 million. Now, they have a goal of $1 billion, so they're a long ways away from their goal. But I don't think $10 million is anything to kind of sneeze at. I think that's a fair amount of money, don't you think? $10 million? I think it is. I think it is, folks. Now, I don't know who contributed to this, and I don't want to zoom in and, get nitpicky about the people's names. I don't think they put their names. I mean, I know it's a public website, but I don't feel comfortable putting the likeness of the people that, that donated. So let's not do that part. But even though I will not put those people on blast, I will say this page was started by a veteran who is a public figure on Facebook, a Purple Heart recipient, and a triple amputee veteran at that. And this is what I want to say, folks. And I think it's a little different. I think it's time that we consider that maybe some people want a border wall for reasons that are not as easily to dismiss as some of us would like. I don't think you raised $10 million on a whim. Yeah, I know people raise money for stuff, right? But this is kind of quick. Hey, it's $10 million got raised pretty quick. And it's $10 million. It's not $100,000. What I'm saying, folks, is maybe these people that are donating to this wall, maybe we shouldn't just say that these people are delusional. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe we could give people the benefit of the doubt and say, I'm sure they have their reasons. See, what I'm seeing a lot of is people being very dismissive of any idea of this wall idea. Get it? Very dismissive. And I'll admit, I've been dismissive of it too. I've been right there like, we got other stuff we need to worry about. $5 billion for a damn wall. $5 billion for a wall. Hell, wall, I can't see it. We need to, give kids summer jobs. We need to clean up the Everglades. We need to clean up the aquifers in Florida. We need to fix Flint's water. We need to, house homeless people. There's all these things we need to do. Now, I say that, That's how I feel about it. But as I looked at this GoFundMe, it hit me like that epiphany I talked about that Obama had when all of a sudden he felt that gay people should be able to get married. It's like something came over me. A breeze blew through the room and it ran up my shoulder and cricket danced. Kitty cat started flapping grew some wings and started flapping and flew up into the sky. And I said, wow, this is some good weed or something. Damn, this is good stuff. This is crazy. But no, after I looked at the GoFundMe amount, I said, because it was $9 million when I started the show. Now it's $10 million. And here's the point. I said, maybe these people feel really strongly about this. Maybe these people, and maybe everybody's not a racist or a bigot or Mexican phobe or Guatemala phobe or whatever they call it. What's the word for it? A xenophobe. Maybe some people have their reasons that are not all based in bigotry. And I understand that that's a very dangerous position to take because we live in a country where you can't have different opinions than the masses. Oh, man. No, you can't do that. And I also realize that even having that thought puts me in the league. Because see, sort of like I said earlier, if Putin wants us to leave Afghanistan and we want to leave Afghanistan, we must be dating Putin. We must be working for Putin. It's just dumb. Well, there are people who will say that if I pause and say, these people raising this money for a border wall might be doing it for reasons that aren't all based in bigotry. Maybe they have reasons for it that maybe we should listen to why and then not just kick them down or kick them in the head or throw them out or discredit them. They would say, well, Tim, you sound like Candace Owens, or you sound like the Trump girls, the dumb Trump girls. We stumped for Trump, them two idiots. And I say, you, because I don't. But they will say that because they like to lump people together instead of actually considering what you're saying. And all I'm saying, folks, is maybe the people who dug into their wallets to give money for this border wall have reasons that are beyond, they just hate people. All right? Very radical idea. Though we can't have that conversation because we lived in a very polarized, jacked up society where even thinking that someone may not be horrible or they may have reasons, even if you may eventually disagree with them. I'm not saying you're going to agree with them. I'm not saying you're going to be like, oh, man, you changed my mind. Well, wow. All of a sudden, I like plums, or all of a sudden I like beets. And I probably still won't like beets, but maybe if you tell me why you really like beets, what you find so, great about them, maybe. Yeah. All right, so anyway. It's called the Kramer's American Border Foundation. Yeah, that's what it's called. Kramer ultimately plans to turn the wall funding over to the Department of Homeland Security. He said he's been assured by the Department of Homeland Security that the agency would accept the money and reserve it for border wall funding. So, hey, look, I don't agree that Donald Trump should allow the government to shut down because he wants money for a wall. I still don't feel that way. I still don't agree with it. Please, if you're going to call me out for this, at least use the context of it. I know that's difficult to do in today's society. But listen, that does not mean that these people who gave their own money, hey, they want to build a wall. In fact, I joked, I said, hey, you guys want to pay for it, go ahead. And somebody was like, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to pay for it there. Chocolate man, we're going to pay for it. Damn right we're going to pay for it. And they start paying for it. So what can I say? They start paying for it. Yeah. All right. That's it on that. Good Lord. You know, okay, so there's this couple of people. Actually, do I have a picture of these people? I think I do. Let's go back over here. Maybe it's over here. Yeah, I got so many screens, guys. I'm the screen guy. Give it up for the screens. First, I got to find it. Okay, so there's been this conversation, or, you know, it hasn't been a nice conversation. It's been pretty mean conversation, right? Between these two folks here, Yvette Carnell and Boyce Watkins. And I just want to say that Yvette Carnell, she talks about reparations, and she talks about using politics in order to help black folks and better black communities, and all of the issues surrounding blackness in America and the income inequality. And she talks about these things, and she goes into detail, her along with a gentleman by the name of Antonio Moore. So they have this broadcast, and they talk about these things. And Yvette Carnell believes in collectivism, that we need to work together and form coalitions as black folks, as black coalition, first of all, join together, become educated in politics as and that's the way that we get change. We get change through joining together. And that is Yvette Carnell's stance. Okay, then we got Dr. Boyce Watkins. And Dr. Boyce Watkins basically believes that you can just put yourself up by your bootstraps. You can just do for self. You can just make it happen on your own. Okay? So these two schools of thought, they're kind of colliding. And there's a lot of conversation being brought up about it. And I'm just going to say this, guys, and I'm going to stay out of it. I just want to make one point to people. Both things can be true, that people need to take responsibility and people need to have goals and work towards those goals. But I strongly believe, guys, for anybody out there who's like trying to decide what makes more sense, I strongly believe that politics is an inevitable monster that we have to deal with. Okay? Don't get me wrong, dealing with politics is very, very frustrating. I don't care what color you are, but particularly for black people, okay, as a group. All right? Because we've been disenfranchised in so many ways. I mean, the government, there were laws on the books that stopped us, that were put in place for no other reason than to stop black people from living the best lives they could live. No other group can say that. You can't say, like there was a law for the Irish not to be able to go where they wanted to go or do what they wanted to do. Like there's all this history in this country. And there's some things that change, but just because they change in theory doesn't mean they change in execution. So, but all that being said, I still believe that politics has a huge place in us moving forward as a country and moving forward as a people. There is no way around it. You need politics in order. If we want to change a law, we have laws on the books that need to be changed. You can't change those laws on those books by just starting a business. It doesn't work that way. You can't change zoning, or you can't change school funding. It's so many things you can't change as one individual trying to make some money. It's even laughable. And Dr. Boyce Watkins says he has a PhD. It's even laughable to even consider that. If there was any other way to get done big things in this country to help large groups of people, I'd be down with it. That did not involve politics, I'd be down with it. But the bottom line is, at a certain point, if you really want to do some good, you're going to need the government. Israel uses our government. Saudi Arabia uses our government. How could you say black people should use our government? Don't even make sense. Now that I say it like that. That was pretty good, wasn't it? They do. They use our government. We can't use our government. You have to use that government. What you doing? Use the government. So my point is, I think politics is important. I only started covering politics because I kept running into issues that weren't going to go away, weren't going to get any better just because I talked about them. So I believe that I need to be a part of the political conversation. And Lord behold, after putting in work, in years of work, getting involved and commenting on issues, you become somewhat relevant and you can somewhat have an impact. And that's what has happened to me. And I've done so reluctantly. Because it is frustrating, and there's so many problems. Campaign finance reform is needed, and term limits. And there's so much in this. Gerrymandering. It's so many things. Election integrity needs to become an issue, and voter suppression becomes it. There's so many things in politics. But we still have to deal with it. And it's not good enough to just say, I'm going to get mine. And it never has been. All right, guys, so thank you very much for tuning into the show tonight. I appreciate y'all. As usual, this show is brought to you by justinform.com, a social media site that doesn't steal your data. It's open to everyone. Go to justinform.com, become a member. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday. That's when you get to call up to the show and you get to say whatever's on your mind. Be here tomorrow for that. And I also will have a special announcement tomorrow that I'm going to make right here on the Tim Black Show. So be here tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you can tune in to Freedom Friday and also get that announcement. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Oh, shout out. Let me check out my people on YouTube. People on YouTube and my people on Facebook. Booyah, booyah. Thomas Almey's a new member. Thank you for joining, Thomas. Thomas Almey just became my most recent member of the Tim Black Wolfpack on YouTube. Hey, Thomas, thank you, brother. Good to see you, and thank you for the donation. Over 50 and Fabulous is in the house. Hey, sis. Haven't seen her in so long. Thank you, Over 50. What's up, 50? And my people on Facebook as well, thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Suzanne Murphy. Shout out to Charlie Peach. And and my friends, Right Brain Studios, and my folks over at the former ghostowner.com, now the Weed Tube. Shout out to my guys over there. We're going to talk more about that soon. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. And I think that'll do it. Peace.